All right, good morning and welcome to a brand new week. My name is Chidima Orangwa. It's a Good Morning Anambra show this beautiful Monday morning, and I gladly welcome you to the show. Quickly, we are starting this morning with the stories trending on ABS website and also national dailies, and we have our reviewers with us in the building this morning, but you'll meet them after this short break. Stay with us. All right, you're welcome back to the show. And with us this morning in the building is Ifeanyi Ogono. Ifeanyi is a public affairs analyst. Good morning, Ifeanyi, and welcome to the show.
Good morning, our viewers.
All right, and we also have with us Onyedikachi Ololo. Did I pronounce it correctly?
Sure, yes.
All right, you're welcome to the show this morning.
Thank you very much. Good morning, Danambra. Atuto Omano.
All right, quickly, let's start with the stories trending on ABS website this morning. The first story we have, Anambra State Government directs hospitality facilities to notify government before hosting events. Anambra PPSSC organizes retreat for secondary school principals at Idemle North Council area. And there we have Soludo condemns attack on Ifeanyi Ubara State to resolve to sack criminals from Anambra. All right, these are the stories trending on ABS website this morning. Let's start with you, Ifeanyi. Let's start with the very first one. Anambra State Government asking or directing hospitality facilities to notify government before hosting event. Of course, you heard what happened in a particular hotel at Ifite-Awka.
Wow. Obodo. You just don't do whatever you want to do just because you want to do them. You know, carrying the state along to also enable the states to be in charge whatever that is happening within their state, be it security, be it otherwise. In fact, it's appalling, shameful. In fact, I don't know the words. It's some printable words, what happened in Ifite. And you begin to ask yourself, where are we heading to and what future does our youth create for themselves? Many of us don't understand that whatever we do today, in fact, life is cyclic. Today was born from yesterday, and tomorrow will be born from today. Whatever you do today, it will haunt you in front. Whatever foundation you lay today is what you're going to live in the rest of your life. You just don't live a life just now. No, you create your tomorrow. You create who you want to be. Now, today is cash at hand. Tomorrow is check. What do you think what you're doing now will lead you to? Especially for the ladies. Ọkwa nwunye mmadụ ka ị ga-abụ echi. Ndị anwa gị na fa na-apịtụ ife a, fa ga-ekwe ka anụbata gị na befa. Ijunugo onwe gị ụdị ajụjụ a. Gị nwa bụ nwoke, ị na-ebi ndụ otu o si sọị, na ọya na efe isi ike na mgbagwoju anya dị n'ụdị. When it sets, we'll resort back to God and church, punishing the pastors and the ministers. Join me to fast. Help me ask God. But they forgot that God is a faithful God. He's a faithful God. The same God of mercy is God of judgment. He doesn't change. The God of justice is also the God of revenge. He is the same God of judgment. Whatever you sow, you must reap it. There are no two ways about it. They are not two ways. So Anambra State government, I thank you for bracing up. But we should also know that prevention is better than cure. We must prevent some of these things happening by having enough intelligence. Thank God for ANJET, Anambra State Joint Enforcement Team. Thank God for the AVGs, so that we can nip some of these things at the bud. We need a lot of intelligence. The state needs to empower the intelligence, both covert and overt. We must know what's happening in our state. We must own our state. We must own our state. I remember, during my growing up, when we traveled to the village, my grandfather, once he's coming into his compound, he'll check the footmarks on the ground. He will now be asking you, Kedo onye bialono? Onye diotu obia? So to the extent that all his friends, he can tell you the shoes they wear, and then you also see them sitting in strategic positions to know movements around. Once they hear footmarks, they will position themselves to know who is passing. And sometimes you see the elderly people, when they want to come into another man's house, they'll make just signaling you, I am coming into your territory. So people just can't come into Anambra, do whatever they want to do and jump out. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that. And Onyedika, let's also see the other story where the governor of Anambra State is condemning the attack on Ifeanyi Ubah, and also he's restating resolve to sack criminals from Anambra State.
First of all, it's unfortunate Makaifen in Anambra State and Southeast. I the security, the insecurity na Nigeria generally. It has been appalling and uncalled for in the first place. What is happening is not supposed to happen, really. And na otu governors will condemn Moya. For me, it's uncalled for. And I try me political or kawukwa na ana condemn, na we condemn. Let us go back to the basics. Makana nde nemekwanu ha, many of them are youths. I doubt na igafu obere nwa no under 11 amongst the people this wrong attitude. And neither can you see them no above 50 or thereabout in this mood. Ila nyoga ukwande no kwa between age of 15 to 14. And when we talk about foundation, let's not completely remove what the government needs to do. Let's not also completely remove what families need to do. I think it's high time we go back to the drawing board. Makana asina madu an idle man is the devil's workshop. And over time, makana they use afrozi if ha game half go na crime, criminality is now a means to success. And this is a wrong innovation. This is very, very condemnable. Thank God now the governor at least the incessant killing Dinobodo because of the strategies happen to go in place. It should be promoted. They need to continue to enhance those strategies happen to go in place. To what extent do the states collect information from the citizens? Yeah, phone numbers they got. And nature. Now from time to time, different media houses, even the police, question even again at strategic points, now billboards, if these toll-free lines well placed, can weather consciousness. Ask now if you see something, say something. Makana things name like this. It's unfortunate that this things name, and unfortunately, all the go this blown up, makana all the likes of State Ifeanyi Ubah. These things have been happening since. Many times people complain na their communities. What was government doing? This is also me using this opportunity, Egwa government now. Any information hang with it, no matter how little it is, they should try to nip it at the board. Because I make sure no, or blows out of proportion, it will be very, very difficult to be controlled.
All right, thank you so much for that. Let's quickly go over to the first paper under review this morning, and that is the Daily Sun newspaper. The big story in front of the Daily Sun: the Catholic bishops directed churches to beef up security, says Nigeria in darkest moment in history. Uncertainty over Ayu Wike talks. No definite date for meeting. I use MCREs, keep mum. Atiku unveils a plan at Editors Forum tomorrow. On oil theft, NMPCL loses $700 million monthly, deploys a digital control system to reverse trend. Ex-PPRO petitions Abia CP over detention of ex-police officer's wife, demand for 44,000 naira bail fee. All right, these are the stories we have in front of the Daily Sun newspaper. Ifeanyi.
Ex-PPRO simply means Police Public Relation Officer. Petition Abia CP over detention of ex-police officer's wife, demands bail of 44,000. It's normal. It's what is happening. Is it because he's a ex-police officer's wife? Nigeria police, most of the Nigeria police formation are mini ATMs. You know, the money that runs around there is enough to run an economy. For me, bail is never free, even when it's said that bail is free. Have you gone to any police station and go free? The least they can ask you is to buy file and biro and paper. Bail is never free. And the question is, when it's another man, when it's somebody who doesn't have coverage of any nature, nobody hears those stories. Nobody hears them. It's happening within themselves, so they know their issue. The way they treat others, they are being treated that way. So they know that you need to regard and respect others. But let us tell ourselves the truth. The Constitution of Nigeria never allows for collection of money for bail. In the police, which you know there, uncertainty over Wike Ayu talks. Well, you don't do things the way you want. If we have to practice democracy, democracy starts from the way we nominate whoever that represents us. Democracy is a social contract. You don't breach contracts and you expect to have peace. You know, so...
All right. Quickly, let's see what we have in front of the National Star newspaper this morning, the new National Star. Gunmen attack Senator Ifeanyi Ubah, kill ex-policeman, his condition unknown. Sacking Ayu will plunge PDP into deeper crisis, Atiku spokesman. 19-year-old student commits suicide in Osun. DSS may charge and detain Mamu to court on Monday. And then we still have there Queen Elizabeth II, Britain created imbalances in Nigeria, says First Republic Minister. ASU strike to end next week, Education Minister says. Onyedika, over to you now.
Okay, I'm taking on 19-year-old student commits suicide in Osun. 19 years. And the question is, what really was his problem? What would have that would make him have that suicidal ideation? For me, it's to make us understand to the extent we have gone sour in the society. Most at times, the case of suicide reports now carry with advanced age. Most times, parents that are taking care of their families and weigh a lot of issues that they need to deal with. Others, when they will think suicide is the option, which we are condemning. I'm now JDPC, Justice, Development and Peace Caritas, leaders of Navy. I knew to go a lot of reports about some of these little family crises. Even sometimes people come to us and tell us that they are considering suicide. We've known what we have done to pull them out. And it's heartbreaking now, only 19 years, they have committed suicide. Now, I would not want to preempt what really caused it. Makana, I'm deeper into the storyline. I got top towards what leads to it. Mana, I will keep saying, now, we have looked at a lot of things in Obodo. We can key it into three areas. Family values, or the good lost. When parents talk to their children, what do they tell them about? Then the responsibility of the government, because the government was appointed really for a purpose. So they must ensure the well-being, the welfare and the security of the society and the citizens therein. And the last one, the ability for we to take responsibility for what we do and how we do them. These things, anybody in the middle of those way, only now commit suicide for what reason? Maybe I know for drugs or family crisis or interest of the government. It's appalling. And another one, with the strike issue. Sometimes, if government and ASU don't really come in to resolve this strike issue, when you're going to 7 months now, students have been at home. We might begin to have more cases of suicide. Some of them are hustling at school without their parents feeding them in quotes, and they just don't know what to do. They are losing it. So because to education ministers let it not just be more of those their regular words. Let them go to the cross of the matter, resolve all this strike issue. Some of them now, they should have finished school now. But because of this, it's affecting them. And how it's affecting their mental health.
All right, just to let you know that you can be part of this conversation. If you have anything to add to what we have been discussing this morning, do well to call us on the line displayed in front of your TV set. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. Your name and your location.
This is Mr. Okechukwu, and we're calling from Jos.
Mr. Okechukwu, how are you doing this morning?
Oh, I'm fine. What about you?
I'm very well. Go ahead.
I want to talk on the issue of that suicide mission. Our youth should understand that whatever that is happening in Nigeria is not different from the ones happening in other countries in the world. The hardship, the frustration, the depression in Nigeria, it's also happening in other countries. Suicide mission should not be, it should not even be thought of. Or if you kill yourself today as a Christian, definitely you will go there and face the Almighty, and the end product will be hell. So whatever they think may be their problem, now that ASU is on strike, it is even an opportunity for one to develop his skills. Go and learn something that will help you. Do not allow frustration to set in, because even
all right, thank you so much.
Even when you finish school and you don't get a job, but you can still set in. Education should not be the end product. At this point in time that ASU has been on strike for 7 months, they should be able to, go and enhance themselves. Look for something skillful to do.
All right.
Not skills. Killing yourself should not be, but it shouldn't stop up at all. Therefore, the security issue, I would suggest that Anambra State should call on the chief security officer of the state, or maybe any agency with the such responsibility, or the security advisor to the governor should go on air and tell us what is happening in Anambra. Because we don't understand what is happening there. Attacking people in bad convoy, killing about 6 people, and nobody knows how the state of people is.
All right, thank you so much. Quickly, let's move over to the next newspaper. That's a Punch newspaper. Federal government may lose 7.58 trillion naira to contract disputes and damages. Firm demands $2.3 billion for alleged Mambila contract breach. Files fresh $400 million suit. Most cases against the government due to officials' negligence, poor handling, says SANS. Buhari administration has capacity to overturn cases against the government, AGF offers. And then up there we can still, federal government still losing 13.21 million naira, all worth to of 600 barrels rather, to that is worth 603 billion naira in 2022. SANS proves to defend ASU before industrial courts. All right, and then we can see tributes as Queen Elizabeth coffin arrives Edinburgh. Quickly, if which are you talking on?
FG may lose 7.58 trillion
Yes.
to contract
Disputes and damages.
Well, it's outrageous. It's unheard of. The Sun has said it clear. Most cases against government are due to official negligence. You know, some of these projects are awarded without due processes. Some of them may not even be of need. I don't know. I wonder how somebody sitting in Abuja should be thinking of what is good for people of Ifito Ogwari. You know, this top to bottom approach, instead of bottom to top approach of projects award and contracts in Nigeria is funny. That's why a community that needs a health center, you go and give them a post office. They don't participate. It's none of their business. You just come, do whatever you want to do and go away. But when the people are being carried along in any process of giving them what they need as dividend of democracy, you see our National Assembly members all say I say nay, without consulting your constituency who gave you a mandate you are holding in trust. You just sit there, take your decisions the way you feel is right, and then you come back to give us your stories. In fact, our Ministry of Justice, the Attorney General of the Federation, needs to be asked questions. They need proper questioning. Look at the power plant, the Mambila power plant. Nigeria is crying, we don't have light, we don't have light. Then we're having issue with the contractors who are working in the power generation section. Is that not supposed to be our interest as at today? How do we create jobs?
Hello, good morning.
Yeah, good morning, police.
Your name and your location.
I called before, but because we were talking, I was looking at the first discussion of security issues. And I said, if we want to get good results, there should be assurance made double sure to the people that there will be no leakage from any side of who reported a matter or who brought up a matter. We need to be conscious of that. I want people to have this assurance that they will try to behave even if it's undercover. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much for that. The next paper this morning is the Nation newspaper. With the banner headline there, 210 days after federal government asks a court to stop ASU strike. Plaintiff seeks order against lecturers to return to work. Nigeria's debt stocks hit 45.25 trillion naira. Will retire political tourist Atiku to Dubai, says Shetima. Ruling party diversionary, says PDP's campaign spokesman. And then we can see up there NCDC 36 monkeypox cases recorded in 1 week.
I'm taking on the 210 days after federal government asked courts to stop ASU strike. Well, it's a good one that the federal government is going to court. And let's not say they should not go. Well, most of the time, son Adema, you go to court, challenge the legality of our actions so that it will be on record. Let the law has its states on this. If the government has tried to do any other thing otherwise, it would have been executive recklessness, which we would condemn. Anaga court for what reason? I know these people have their demand. They have tried to meet some of the demand. And a part of Ihena course is this open now is this no work, no pay conversation. But I was listening to, I think, one of the ASU lecturers yesterday, Munayami Engage. I said, now, for government, no work, no pay is unjust. Lecturing is beyond teaching. How we research component of their job, how we community service component of their job. So now they have been on strike does not mean they've not been doing research, and that is their own argument. So government with their own argument now, no work, no pay. Now with their own argument now, they've been working. Court when they their final say on it. It's unfortunate now in this 21st century. Most of the times, COVID-19 it has brought the world together. A lot of programs now at the international level. If you see the level youths and then students of other climes, of other continents, but maybe I take one and apply third world and just say, well, let's keep working till we enter second world, and then or maybe if we can make it to first world. But leaving that third world means a strategic plan, strategic actions, both from the government and from the citizens. And debt rates keep piling up. For goodness sake, why we talk on to my co-analysis, we should be looking at bottom-top approach of development. And I think what it should do is fully to improve the lives of the citizens. Otherwise, nobody would use it, and the Human Development Index will continue to drop. Hunger, agro, kagana, nobodo. People, when you don't believe in yourself, your productivity will reduce, and in the long run, the economy will suffer for it. So, because it's not bad to borrow, but when you borrow, make sure you use it effectively. And we're monitoring templates that should be citizens driven, so that ANEA may implement that project, we borrow the money. Agafona, it is implemented effectively.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Yes, tell us your name. Good morning.
This is Jude from Jos. This is Max from Jos.
From Jos, okay, go ahead.
Hi, sister. And my brother, I'm calling from Jos. Federal government dragged us to court. Just like that. Honestly speaking, they don't have conscience. Because they don't have the masses in hand and the spend. See all the money they borrow, every day borrowing. And they are not doing anything with the money. When they borrow this money, they will just treat it and share it within themselves. So what I'm just trying to say, they don't have shame. And taking up to court 240 days. Today our children are broke. They don't have shame. That's why I'm just urging Nigeria and you to come out and vote this government out of office. God bless you.
Thank
you. And my people in the studio.
All right, bless you too. Thank you so much. Next paper this morning is the Daily Trust newspaper. The banner headline, Life Pension for HOS, PAMSEX offsets contributory scheme. And then we have the riders there. How new policy negates constitution. Police, professors push for exclusion too. Trend dangerous, reverse approval, experts tell Buhari. And then you can see that still, ransom fraud, outcome of investigation on Mamu, mind-boggling, DSS. E-payment hits monthly all-time high of 33 trillion naira in August. Well, these and more are what we have in front of the Daily Trust this morning. If I life pension for head of service and PAMSEX upset contributory scheme.
Why will they not upset it? Are they different from the normal civil servants? They are not. I don't blame anybody because the governors and whoever is asking for life pension. So what is good for the goose is also good for the gender. Head of service demanding for life pension. Even when we know what they do there. Even when we know that 75% of them are not worth being there. What is their productivity rate? You see, it's just like this ASU federal government issue. The truth be said, it's impossible for Nigerian universities to be funded by federal government. Let's be honest and factual about it. The earlier we find alternative funding for universities and proper accountability, ASU strike can never end. The earlier we find an amicable way of funding our universities, ASU strike will never end. It's just very simple.
In your own opinion, how do you think universities can be funded?
First, if you school abroad, you know that the alumni association are the owners of the institution. That's why if you go to senate of every school, you have them as representative. The alumni contributions that ex-students make, where does it go to? The researches that federal government gives them money for, has it been commercialized? Is it research on paper? Is it research that is commercial intended? If yes, where have those researches? Where is the synergy between the university and the industries? Where is the synergy between the university and our national development plan? What do we need? The university should provide them. Otherwise, we keep producing students who have no place in society. There must be a synergy, a lot of synergies. Universities abroad, we know how they are run. And the education is not all about university. Where is our commercial school? Where is our grammar school? Where is our technical colleges? So everybody now, for you to have a certificate that is worth it, you must climb to the apex. So everybody is interested in going to the university. Then we have this neglect, inferior behaviors to HNDs and school and NCE. So everybody is now keyed into the university system. A law has been put in place to remove the dichotomy. But I tell you that if you are coming into any job position today, once you have HND, you must be at least a level below the degree holder. There are a lot of issues. And we must sit to analyze this issue and profile a lasting solution. I'm not against federal government. I am not in support of ASU. Neither am I in support of the federal government. But if the universities are made to offer solutions, my school is knowledge for service, University of Benin. Where is the knowledge? Where is it applied?
All right.
If it's knowledge for service, then we should look at this ASU issue. I'm thinking that by now there should be a lot of researches and paper coming out from lecturers telling us alternative means of solving this problem, rather than federal government must give us money. We must find money from wherever. Oga, it cannot work. It's not working. And we keep doing the same thing over and over and expect a different result. Well, the psychology says madness. So it's not me that said it. Maybe some people are mad.
Good morning. This is Mr. Kechukwu from George. Please, the issue of this ASU, we should understand it. 280. There's no way for 200 days you didn't go to work and you expect that government to pay you. Just imagine that it's a private institution. Do you think you will just stay at home for 210 days and you expect your employer to pay you? Where will they get the money? Is it the lecturers or the ASU workers to understand that they cross the boundaries? And they have children like the way we do. They should go back to work and see how to provide solutions to whatever is happening.
Okay, Chukwu, so you are on the side of the government.
Yeah, it's very bad. Then I want to talk about what...
all right, we really don't have time again.
For techniques and whatever. The government should update these schools so that all will be at par.
All right. All right, thank you so much. Quickly, let's see the papers we have. We have This Day, we have Guardian, and then we have Daily Independent. So we are going to take three of them together. The first is This Day newspaper this morning. Report, Nigeria's $15.7 billion 2022 fuel subsidy projection to exceed all 36 states' budget. Monthly stolen oil equivalent to budget of Osun, Kwara and Ekiti. NNPCL loses $700 million monthly to crude oil theft. Want a quick legal framework, stiffer sanctions for criminals. That's and other things are what we have in front of this day newspaper. Next is the Daily Independent. CBN kicks asks banks of feed fat on excess charges, illegal debits. And then 2 weeks after, most of foreign airlines yes to assess trapped funds. NCDC records 21 new monkeypox cases in 1 week. And then finally is the Guardian newspaper. Ekiti Osun poll, more questions trail INEC server hacking claims. And then up there, over 500,000 expired containers litter Nigeria pose environmental risk. Aviation workers issue 14-day ultimatum, begin protests against anti-labor clauses. All right, let's start with you, Onyedik. Of course, you've seen what we read out from the three papers, This Day, Daily Independent, and the Guardian newspaper.
Okay, I'm very much interested now about the monkeypox report.
Okay.
because currently we are doing an intervention in all the primary health care centers in Anambra State to see how we can improve the ability to give better service delivery. And for the period of time we have been there, I bet you at first when we entered into the primary health care centers, many of them used to be in sour states. But with engagement and calling the attention of the government, especially the Anambra State Primary Health Care Development Agency, they have had a series of policy changes that have started improving the face of the primary health care centers. However, we know that a lot still needs to be done. And we've battled Ebola, we've battled COVID-19, now we are battling monkeypox. And the truth is, what is the capacity of different communities to get information about some of these diseases? And Nigeria is in a tropical state, and then we know we have some NTDs. We beyond reacting to diseases, I think we need to form and strengthen our surveillance team. People who need to be in the field morning, afternoon, night to get some of this information and feed to us, so that even at the world level, while they are giving their own, while they are providing solution on what happens, we will not just key into their own solution. We will key in based on what we know can work for us. If that means our healthcare system needs to be improved, everybody, every stakeholder needs to come on board, and not we are doing this for them. Because if we don't do it, I wonder the fate of the aged people in the communities, pregnant women. We are still fighting maternal child death. And the children, people living with disability. Even the youths who should be very, very active to become productive. If we don't rejig our health system, then there will be a problem.
All right, quickly, fine.
Well, starting on what he said, I remember going to the primary health center in Obunike, only to discover that the cleaners there have vehemently refused to do just the needful. They will tell you, we are not employed to sweep or mob, but to do what? I called the attention of the Commissioner for Health to look into the primary health center, especially the one in Obunike. Then the CBN kicks against banks feeding fat on excess charges and illegal debits. Well, thank God finally they have decided to speak, because this has been ongoing. Just to know the truth, check the Kobo side of your account. It can never be the same every month. And you begin to ask yourself, in fact, when they finish it to 00, they will go to the Naira own, bring in value, and start. In fact, one of my friends, they charged his account from 1,000 to minus, and then as we are speaking, he is owing a bank 1 million naira. An account that is dormant for over 6 years, and they are still charging the account. You see, there are a lot of rods everywhere. People are stealing. And then the regulators are just sitting, keeping quiet. Just go to any filling station. The other day I was buying fuel in the filling station. The meter read 25 liters. Multiply to then it gave a value. Use that 25 liters to divide the value. Instead of 190 something that was on the meter, I was getting 197. And I called the attention. And you can hear the grammar and the many, you are too careful. You see, the banks are just stealing. The banks should go into funding agriculture, giving out loans that are not for political reasons, loans that are recoverable, and not just feeding fat. That's why they are running for accounts. Open 1 million accounts. So when they take 50-50 kobo from 1 million, you know how much it is.
Well, on that note, we want to say a very big thank you to both of you. Samuel, thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you very much.
And also Ifeanyi, thank you for being with us this morning.
It's a pleasure on the Anambra. Because kucha idea okwa bala enwekwe bodu ayeje onye gbu nwanne ya bụ okwu odogwu.
All right, that's it on the show. That is the press review. Thank you so much for joining us. My name is Chidimma Oranwa. We're going on a short break, and when we come back, we'll see you at the other side. Stay with us.